gauntlet we have to get through to be evaluated and accepted into our profession, it helps so much to think of your writing as a contribution, a gift to collective knowledge and the public good. It's actually a generous act of service when you think about it, a labor of love to share something of value to other people. I think looking at it this way can free you from the worst of worrying about how your writing is judged. Instead, picture the people who need it, who are waiting for it, who want you to finish your project. And related to this, although it's a solitary activity, it is a bid for connection. You're trying to enter into conversation with others, even if they end up disagreeing with you. And that brings us to the third C, which is communication. And effective communication requires us to select the styles and the genre, the formats that will be most accessible to the people we're trying to reach, as well as the publication venues that are most likely to find our ideal audiences. So we will talk about that more a bit later on. But the other, when it comes to this idea of finding your voice and authenticity, writing is actually a mode of self-discovery as well and self-expression. Your identity shifts and changes over time as you come to understand who you are as a scholar, as a thinker. The part about authenticity, however, is that you want the person on the page to align with the person that you are in your so-called real life. When you're very different or split personas, it can feel like you're playing an artificial role that doesn't, that isn't as close to your true interests and desires. So it's important to try to bring those identities together so that the person you are on the page feels like the person that you are in your life. And I will tell you here that our choice over time of our topics, our style, the way that we write, or what we're calling voice, really is as distinctive as our DNA. When I taught writing, after I got to know my students in the first month or so, very often I would just know who was writing the paper without seeing their name on the page. Like the presence on the page is as unique as our fingerprints. Although, as a footnote, we all know that AI is changing this even as we speak. So that's something we could talk about a little in the Q&A is like, what is the role of AI in this process? And what does authenticity, what happens to authenticity when technology is involved? Um, but by the same token, when people experience writer's block, that's often a symptom of this kind of identity conflict or a kind of internal disconnection. It signals that there's something we're afraid of, or we dislike, or we don't identify in the writing, in the project that we're doing. It's not feeling like it's coming effortlessly from us. So instead of lamenting your writer's block and your writer's difficulty, I would take that as an opportunity for some introspection and probe a little bit about where the difficulty lies. What is it that you're struggling with the most? And is there a way to bring it back into the realm of something that feels more aligned and authentic to your actual concerns, interests, and values? And when we do this, writing can be healing, and that's the fifth purpose. Many people don't realize that the definition of healing, at least from the Greek etymology, isn't a cure, meaning the end of symptoms or you'll never feel discomfort again. But it means that everything is integrated in your whole system and whole. You feel like a whole person without these inner conflicts and divisions. There's a book in your bibliography called Healing Ourselves, and that's some of the latest science on the role of energetic medicine and healing. And they talk about how free writing and journaling has been shown to be highly therapeutic for people with a variety of physical and mental illnesses. It brings a lot of comfort and relief to express your innermost feelings and thoughts just honestly without fear of censorship. So, despite how Western and modern medicine often separates mental and physical ailments and trains specialists to focus on specific body parts or systems, we all know our mind and body are inextricably linked. We are one integrated organism. So, writing as a vehicle for healing kind of links mind and body, and it can have really powerful healing effects. It also helps people feel less alone when they are imagining a compassionate, empathetic reader or a higher power that is understanding and seeing our situation within the bigger picture. So just any feeling of comfort and feeling cared for can itself be healing. So my motto there is you can write your life by writing writing your life. Okay, so what this preamble was all about is hopefully to get you to start thinking that writing is more than just the moment that you sit down at a desk. When you write, you're integrating your identity as you express who you are, you're discovering and sharing what interests you most, and you're thinking about what you want to contribute to the world. I'm going to get practical in a second and really talk about the activity of writing. But before I do, I just want to elaborate in the next slide, Nefeli, on this
Mhm.
quantum idea from quantum science of writing as an energetic exchange. And I love that I'm talking to you all because, I mean, given India's ancient history of merging spirituality and science in ways that the West has yet to fully be able to do, I think you are probably better positioned to understand what gurus and physicists alike have long known. We are actually 99% vibrational energy, not matter. We're connected, we're vibrating in this way, connected to a larger unified biofield within this fabric we call space-time. This is, post-Einsteinian, the quantum understanding of the cosmos. Essentially, time is not an arrow that just moves through space where the future just goes further and further from the past. But in any deep moment of presence, we kind of tap into what the Greeks called kairos, which is like that transcendent, eternal consciousness where past, present, and future merge. That's opposed to the chronos, which is clock or calendar time. That's a human construct that we have put on reality to say there's only so many minutes and hours in a day. If we only live in chronos, that's where we get panicky and writer's block because, quote unquote, we're running out of time. We only have an hour. But when you can, back to your nervous system, calm yourself down enough to inhabit Kairos in deep presence. You're in that parasympathetic state. You're not under threat. Your mind becomes as fully open as it can be. This is profound because you might be sitting in the present, but by accessing